So for those of you who don't know, I am Karen Dunne-Squire, and today we're going to spend some time talking about how to supercharge your sales performance. We're going to be talking about how to build a really world-class sales operation. And I would like 4 things to happen today as my commitment to you. Number 1, I would like you to become really clear about what world-class means. Really think about what does it mean to be world-class. Then I'd like to share with you the 3 principles, the 3 critical principles that define world-class. And I would also like to show you how to apply them in your business. I'd like to give you some specific tips and tricks that will allow you to bring world-class into the environment that you're working in. And the 4th thing I would like is for you to all sit and enjoy it right till the end. But that's really up to you, not me. But I hope that's how it works. So we're going to spend about half an hour together. If you've got any questions or comments, when I wrap up, I will just be standing at the back so that the next speaker can come and do what they need to do. I can field any of your questions. So let's get started. First of all, I'd like to tell you a story. I started in sales when I was 19 years old, which was over 20 years ago, but please don't tell my Tinder profile that. And in that time, I have been lucky enough to work in some really, really world-class sales teams. I've worked at corporate level for some of the largest organisations in both the UK and America, and I have worked with some of the best leaders and some of the most effective salespeople. I've also worked with some really rubbish ones, so I know what they look like too. But actually, at my peak, I was running a team of over 400 people, and getting those 400 people to perform effectively was my be-all and end-all. That's all I wanted. So I'm absolutely focused on getting high performance out of teams and working out the methods and the formulas that really make sales departments work well. In 2009, I started my own business, and my mission then was to try and find a formula, to try and find some framework that would teach the business world how do we shape an absolutely world-class organisation. So I started talking to business owners, hundreds of them, regularly. And there was one thing that they all had in common. They all wanted a more successful business. Anyone here not up for that? Pretty good idea, isn't it? Whether you're working in a business, whether you're working for a business, or whether you're running a business. We want our business to be as effective as it can possibly be. The issue here that I learned in 2009 when I first started asking these questions was this is a very subjective issue. Yeah? You stand a sales consultant and a marketing consultant and a finance consultant and an IT consultant next to each other in a row. They're all going to give you a different message for success. Fair? Yeah? Are any of them wrong? Probably not. They're probably just sharing with you their expertise. So they might be saying, you need to do more training. Your team need more skill. And that could be a part of it. They might be saying you need expert consultancy. You've got to have better strategy around here. That's what's going to lead to your success. They might be saying you need better leaders. Your management practices around here just aren't good enough. Upgrade them and you'll have a much more powerful, driven team. They could be telling you you need better systems. Put in a more effective CRM, get a better ERP, that will make everything more profitable around here. They might, if you're unlucky, say you just need a different business altogether. But let's hope that's not true of anyone here today. The issue with that is that it's very difficult in the UK in 2009 to find a way of understanding clearly and categorically what you need to do to make your business more effective. And that's the mission that I wanted to overcome. I wanted to be able to, regardless of what market you were in, regardless of what services or products you were selling, I wanted a tangible, measurable, robust framework that would teach you how you could supercharge your performance and how you could become truly world-class. And that's what I've spent the last 10 years devising, and that's what I hope today you will get an opportunity to embrace, even just to a small degree. So that's what we're going to talk about. But first of all, what does it mean to be world-class? Who here woke up this morning and thought, I absolutely intend to be world class all day today? No? Oh, this man did, and that lady there did. She works for me, so she better bloody put her hand up. So some people do, but it's not a common thought, is it? We all want to be good or great or better, but world class is a big statement, isn't it? It's a really big statement. What world class means is adopting the highest standards of business practice on a global level. That's huge, isn't it? Being the absolute best that you can possibly be out of everybody else in the entire world. That's what we aim to achieve with our framework and with our methodologies. For businesses to be the strongest that they can possibly be, for them to achieve the best level of sales they can possibly achieve, they need to have a solid foundation. You need to have a framework that allows you to drive the right level of business success. And that's what we've created at Elation and what I'd like to share with you guys today. So our framework is called the Growth Framework. You can access this through many and various free downloadable tools, so don't be frightened if you don't remember all of this today. We'll introduce those to you in a mo. The Growth Framework is my findings after years and years of looking to understand what does a world-class business do. And I wanted to be able to define that, and I wanted to be able to put forward the critical principles of that so that you can all replicate what world-class sales operations do. Fancy that? Anyone up for giving that a go? Good. Okay, so the Growth Framework works under the basic premise that in order to have an absolutely high-functioning sales operation, you have to have three defining principles in place. And they are the three pillars of successful selling. No sales operation is complete without all three. They all hold up your operation, and without power in all three, you will struggle to achieve your growth aims. So those three, in no particular order, are number one, sales activities. Truly world-class businesses have sales communications that outstrip their competitors. They communicate with their audience in a way that has impact. They communicate with their audience in a way that clearly depicts the appropriate messaging. And they have a suite of communications that say, without doubt, every time, you will have a fantastic experience with our business. So, number one, sales activities. And we will come back to this shortly and look at it in a bit more detail. The second of the critical principles of world-class businesses, according to our growth framework, is sales process. Yeah, and your sales process is the plans and practices that you have in place to drive a high-quality customer journey, to make sure that your customers' experience when they move through the stages of lead generation, lead nurture, and account management are of really high quality, that they are properly defined, and that the customer has a journey that is consistent and high quality every time. And principle number three of the growth framework for world-class sales operations is effective sales management. And I don't simply mean the way that your managers lead the team. I mean all of the practices that are in place to create an environment where everybody excels. So quite often when people come to me and they say we're not selling enough, they say we need sales training. Yeah, if our guys did better stuff, we'd get better results. Actually, what world-class operations do is they think a bit more holistically than that. I've worked in many teams where the sales individuals are highly talented individuals, but they have poor processes and practices, so leads are dropping through the net. They have poor management, so people aren't thriving. The growth framework encourages you to apply a really holistic approach to your sales operation and to say, I need to have strength in all three of these areas. I need to have great communications, I need to have great management, and I need to have great process. And all three interlinking will make your business absolutely robust and maximise all of its aims. So, how do I know this? How can I be sure? Let me tell you. So the first one of my critical principles in the growth framework is powerful process. So I'm going to give you an indication of how process has been used really effectively by a business a few of you will have heard of, a bunch called Apple. Yeah? Put your hand up if you've got an Apple product in your life. Wow. A lot of hands, no surprise there. The iPhone is, as I'm sure we all know, the world's #1 selling smartphone. Has been for years and years and years. That in itself, potentially not super exciting. Few other things to think about with regard to Apple. Not only is the iPhone the world's best-selling smartphone, if you take the top 10 selling smartphones in the world, Apple outsells all of the other 9 put together. Yeah, they're not a little bit better, they've smashed it. Now, I want you to think about something with regard to Apple. Imagine you're a salesperson, maybe you are right now, maybe you were once, and you go for a job interview, right? And in this job interview, the interviewing individual says to you, so, employee, this is what I need from you. I'm going to give you the most expensive product on the market. I can guarantee for you that it's not the highest quality specification on the market, and I insist that you outsell every other one of the competitors. Now, I don't know about you, but there'd be some people thinking when they got home from that job interview, these guys must be joking. I can't sell the most expensive product on the market and make it the best seller even though it's not the best spec. I'm not going for that job. That's a ridiculous expectation. Yet Apple have done it. And they've done it with a remarkable amount of ease from looking from the outside. How have they done it? Because they've got unbelievable customer journey. Their sales process is flawless. From the moment that you hear that Apple are releasing a new phone, to the onboarding process of becoming a customer, to everything that you have to do when you engage with them as an organisation, and all the things that happen after you've purchased, they make sure your experience is fantastic. I mean, the very fact that if you're upset with Apple and you've got a problem with one of their products, you've got to go and talk to a genius in a Genius Bar. It's hero branding like we've barely known of. It's absolutely exceptional. So they've done this miraculous piece of work with their customer journey where, despite the fact they're the most expensive, and they have absolutely no outstanding technical specification features. I know there's a lot of great things about Apple, don't freak out everyone, we all love them. But actually they don't separate themselves broadly from their other competitors from a technological perspective. They are the market leader by hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of units a minute, right? Because their sales process is impeccable. So we know that world-class businesses have absolutely exceptional customer journeys. I wanted to take that a bit further. I wanted to say, what are the defining characteristics of an absolutely amazing customer process? And here they are. Defining characteristic number 1 is it has to be diverse. Apple are absolutely excellent at ensuring that wherever you are in the journey with them, you can access information in a multitude of different ways. Whether that be online, whether that be by telephone, whether that be by walking in and meeting a lovely individual face-to-face in that aforementioned Genius Bar. Their processes are diverse and you're able to access them in a multiple number of ways. Apple are very timely in the way that they communicate with their clients. There is a reason why people queue outside of shops for hours to get the iPhone, and that's because of the timely nature of their product launches. Yeah? When you walk into aforementioned Genius Bar, I quite like the Genius Bar. Customer genius, it really is. When you walk into that place, you are told specifically how many minutes and seconds it will be before you receive service. Yeah, they're taking it very seriously to do things in a time-bound fashion, which means that customers have a high-quality journey. Their journey is well-defined. They've taken some time to understand what is the perfect experience that our customers should have, and they've noted it down. I can assure you right now that if any one of you got a job at the Genius Bar, they would not press a tablet into your hand and say, get on with it. You would have some very specific guidelines around exactly how you had to treat those customers and what the metrics were around that and what the objectives were around that. And I want you to start thinking about what these characteristics are bringing up for you about your business. Can you say that you have these defining characteristics in your business? Characteristic number 4 is it's consistent. Yeah? One of the questions I ask you to ask yourself about the business that you work in is, does every customer have the same type of experience when they deal with your organisation? And does every employee handle customers in a similar way? Because it is upon that consistency that you can build a brand of customers who really love you. And the 5th and final characteristic of absolutely world-class sales processes is influential. It has impact. Yeah, when you are carrying out activities with your customers, does it change the amount of revenue that you are winning? Does it make you more profitable? Does it make your customers more satisfied? Have you got some measures in place that are telling you this stuff is making a difference? Because if you don't, then you may very well be wasting your time. So, stage number 1. The defining characteristics of the sales process pillar within the growth framework. And these are the things that you need to challenge and understand in your business to say, am I emulating world class? I feel really sorry for you people over there because I can't get to you because there's wires in the way, but hi anyway over there. Normally come and say hi. Okay, so number 1, powerful process. Number 2, impactful activities. So the sales activities you have in your business are the individual communications that your customer sees from you that influence whether they choose to buy, that influence their opinion of your business. And world-class businesses get this right every time. And I'd like to give you an example of one of those businesses that I'm sure, again, we've all heard of, that is definingly world-class, that does this exceptionally, and the organisation is Innocent Drinks. Has anyone here seen or bought a smoothie or a juice of some description from this bunch? Yeah, good. I know he's been living in a cave for any short period of time. So what's world class about Innocent? Well, there's some fairly simple facts. Innocent Drinks was set up by 3 university graduates in a back bedroom in Cambridge in 1998. Did you all know that? Yeah? In 2013, do some quick maths. 2013, they sold that business to Coca-Cola for £320 million. That's not mucking about, is it? The things I did in back bedrooms when I graduated university certainly aren't worth 320 million, I can tell you that now for nothing. So they've done an outstanding job. And one of the ways that Innocent have done that is by being bang on with their customer communications. They have thought very specifically about the way that they want to share information with the world, and they've done it brilliantly. They've defined their brand tone of voice, they've defined the messaging that they want to share with the world, and they do that absolutely brilliantly. And they also make very careful consideration to the fact that they should be using the same method of communication to their suppliers, to their customers, and to their staff. They're building a tribe of people who resonate with their messaging. So anyone who's seen them on social media will see they're quirky, they're slightly irreverent. They actually rarely talk about smoothies or juices at any time. They talk about what Jim from accounts did at the weekend. They draw stupid pictures. They play practical jokes on one another. They take photos of each other's favourite furniture. Yeah? But they're connecting with their tribe at all points when they're doing this. Yeah, they choose to maximise on face-to-face communication, so they run mini festivals. Fruit Stock was their very first piece of promotional activity, which brought a team of like-minded people together to dance in the sunshine and drink healthy juice. This is how they're building a brand. You only need to pick up one of their juice bottles to see the language that's used on those bottles, the imagery that's used on that bottle, that tells you this is a brand who knows how to communicate. And any organisation, no matter how big or small, who can persuade members of the public to knit small hats to put on plastic bottles has nailed its communication. Yeah? Hundreds and thousands of people knitted those hats. Now, has anyone in this room ever tried to communicate a message, start a little tribe of activity, hold an event, invite people to it, do a webinar, get a bunch of people to come along, launch something, invite people? hard work, right? Innocent got 225,000 people to knit tiny little hats, yeah? Because their communication is absolutely world class. And let me tell you the 4 characteristics that Innocent get right that you can replicate in your business tomorrow to get the same impact. They have amazing content. They think about their tone of voice, they think about their messaging, and they think about what they want to say very carefully. They have really great structure in their communication. They're very specific about what they say, the order that they say it in, who they say it to. They have communication strategies around internal and external providers. They measure and they monitor their communication. Nothing is accidental. There's not a bottle or a carton that goes out of the smoothie warehouse without the communication being considered effectively. They have diversity. So you can dance with the Innocent guys at a festival, you can knit them a hat, you can follow them on Facebook, you can laugh at the back of your bottle on the tube. There is a number of ways that you can engage with that messaging, and it's drip-fed consistently to them, and they have the right quantity. They are present in your life enough that we don't forget about them, but they don't bombard, they don't irritate, and they don't pester. They demonstrate these 4 key characteristics of absolutely excellent sales activity brilliantly in everything that they do. So let's take a look at the third of the 3 pillars. And remember, please, it isn't possible to have a high-functioning sales operation without having these world-class characteristics present in every one of your businesses. So the third and final of the pillars is our empowering management. This is the way in which we lead our businesses to ensure that everybody performs to their optimum. I want you all to think about the business you're in right now, or the business you would love to be building, whichever is relevant. If every single person in it did the very best they could possibly do every single day, would it be a little more successful than it is right now? Yeah? So, let me tell you about the organisation. You've nailed this. Another company I hope you'll have heard of, Google. Most of you will know them as the dude to answer every single question we've asked in all of our adult lives. Yeah? Actually, Google, for 6 years running, have been named as America's #1 employer. They've won awards for staff retention. They are absolutely outstanding in their field in terms of management. And the reason for that is that their business is centralised around a department called the People Analytics Department. See what they've done there? Clever. Google Analytics, People Analytics. The entire job of the People Analytics Department is to understand how to make people at Google more happy. And it looks at absolutely everything, the entire employee journey. From how they recruit, how they induct, how do they manage, how do they develop, how do they discipline, how do they create an environment that makes people really world class. Now, if anyone in this room has tried to make 12 people high functioning, you'll know it's bloody hard work, won't you? Google have got 53,000 people working for them. They have the highest retention rates of any company in the world, because they focus specifically on empowering management so their teams meet their optimum performance. So I think you'll know what's coming next. Do you want to know the 5 defining characteristics of really empowering management? Number 1, structure. Yeah? We need to make sure we've got the right people in the right fit, that they're doing their jobs effectively and they're implementing their roles effectively. So this is where we need to make sure that our resource mapping is right, and the people around here are doing what they should be doing. Second is performance. So your business needs to share with people what are our targets, what are our measures for success, what are our shared goals. You need to be checking in and understanding, do the people have the right behaviours and the right competencies to carry out this role? Yeah, are we managing performance effectively? Criteria number 3, communication. The way that a team of human beings communicates with one another impacts directly on how satisfied you are of being part of that team. I want you to think about the place that you're happiest in the whole entire world, almost certainly somewhere where you feel you can communicate openly and comfortably. Or perhaps it's somewhere where you don't communicate at all and you sit quietly and meditate. Quite nice too. So when we're looking at the world-class characteristics, we're thinking about how do people communicate one-to-one with one another? How is the team communication? How How is interdepartmental communication? How are we making sure that people are sharing information in a way that leads to the right type of outcomes? We also think about training, and I want all of you people here who are thinking about sales training, and I want to also caveat, I am a sales trainer when I say this, as are a lot of my lovely colleagues in the room. Training the skill set of your team is actually a tiny part of what makes them successful. Never overlook that a highly skilled individual can underperform in the wrong type of environment. So think carefully about that. But training is about how do we induct, how do we give them a starter for success, how do we coach, how do we mentor, how do we give management training, what's in place in our business to ensure we're empowering. And the fifth and final characteristic of world-class management is culture. What is the environment that you have created for these individuals that work in this team? And is it someone where everybody is able to thrive? So these are the things that you should be thinking about. I've shared with you the 3 critical principles of world-class businesses. I've showed you that underneath that there are characteristics that anyone in this room could pull out, could challenge, could understand. The other thing I promised was that I'd show you how you can embed them in your business. So the growth framework was created by me in 2009 to try and overcome some of the challenges of building a world-class business. We are very lucky now that hundreds and hundreds of business owners in the UK have been through it. We won a little award recently. UK's most effective business growth tool. So if you are serious about bringing business growth into your business, you will want to adopt the framework, and it's a simple 3-step process. Number 1, benchmark your business. So you would be thinking about the criteria that I've just discussed with you, and you would be challenging, where does your business sit? Is your business excelling in all 3 of those areas? Where are your gaps? What do you need to do better? From that activity, you would then be able to build an improvement program. You would be able to say, these are the areas where we are already world class and we celebrate them. Here are some gaps where we can be better and more brilliant and achieve more. And we're going to build a program in our business, a growth improvement program that will drive more profit, more sales, more delighted customers. And then when you've done that program, you're going to be assessing that to ensure that it's having the impact. Going back, looking at your benchmarking, seeing what you've achieved, seeing your business grow. Yeah, businesses who apply the growth framework in a robust and rigorous way see better sales results, better staff retention, more delighted customers. It's a really holistic approach. My genuine mission is to make sure that every business owner in the UK has access to the growth framework, regardless of their size and regardless of their budget. So if any of you today are thinking, this sounds great, but that's just half an hour of my life, what happens next? The thing I would most actively encourage you to do would be to talk to us. We're ever so nice. Emma over here is also in my team. We'll both be standing at the back afterwards for you to catch up with us. The other thing that I'd love you to do, and you'd be kind of mad not to, just even if I do say so myself, is to download my ebook. It's totally free of charge, and it talks you through how you can benchmark your business in accordance with the growth framework. That is all you need to do is invest your time. And I always say, if we haven't got time to be more brilliant, then stop thinking about being more brilliant, because you do need to invest some time in it. Of course, like every business owner, you can invest money with me as well. That's genuinely not what I'm here to talk to you about today. I want to share these principles and I want you to embrace them, but you can master this particular process yourself by joining us in a mentored environment, and we're always happy to chat about that if it's the right thing for you. But most importantly, have a thoroughly amazing rest of your afternoon, and I want you to think very, very hard. If you want to be more brilliant, if you want to have more in your business, if you want to walk away feeling confident that you can do better and more, then think about the 3 critical principles of the growth framework to supercharge your sales operation. Thank you all.